Hello, Forest Lake. This is Pastor Matt. Today I'm in the book of Mark and I'm in chapter 8, and we're going to talk about something that I think is really important and that can cause a lot of confusion for individuals. And I like to call this a paradox, a kind of a conundrum. When it comes to following Jesus, there's some things that that are unexpected, that we don't really anticipate finding out until you have started this journey of following Jesus. In the end of chapter 8, Jesus is teaching his disciples what it means to follow him. And then he says in verse 35 of Mark 8, he says, "For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it." So if you want to save your life, you'll lose your life. But if you want to lose your life, you will actually end up saving it if you lose it for Jesus and for the gospel. That to me sounds like a paradox. So what is Jesus talking about when he says, for if you want to save your life? What he's talking about is this idea of creating for yourself a life that's worth saving. I don't know about you, but when I think about my life and what I want with the short time I have on earth, what I want is to have a valuable life. I want to have people, crying at my funeral because they just are shocked that I'm dead. I want my life to have an impact. I don't know about you, but that's the kind of life I want. And the way we go about trying to attain that kind of life causes horrendous problems. And I think we're all like that in some respect. We are trying to make our lives into something spectacular. And we do it in lots of different ways. We do it by gaining the respect of others. We do it by making maybe a lot of money. We try to create this valuable life based off of a great business sense and create in entrepreneurship. Maybe we try to make our lives important by getting involved in politics and possessing power and really being able to sway people and convince them to listen to us. That's how we normally go about creating a life that's valuable. I mean, you could throw so many things into it. How does my body look, or how good looking I am? There's so many ways we try to make our lives worth something. And what Jesus is saying is simply this: if that's how you live, if you believe it's up to you to create a life worth living, you're going to lose it. Regardless of what happens, if you're successful and you get all the things you dream of in life, you will ultimately lose it. To me, that sounds like a paradox. But then Jesus says this: "But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it." In other words, there is a way to save your life. There is a way to create meaning in your everyday life. There is meaning to you, but it's not connected to the things you do. It's connected to a person. That person is Jesus Christ. We're called to lay down our lives. As followers of Jesus, we are to, Jesus says in the verse before, 35, he says, we are to deny ourselves and daily pick up our cross. The book of Luke says to daily pick up our cross. In other words, we are to say no to how we used to be. We're to say no to our flesh. We're to say no to how we used to react. We have to say no to depending on the things of this world that will ultimately betray us and let us down. We're called to say no to those things and to lay down our lives for Jesus. Now that looks like a lot of different things. Laying down your life sounds like a scary thing, but here's the paradox of laying down your life for Jesus Christ. I don't know if you've ever come into contact with a faithful person, someone who's been a believer for a long time, and they went through maybe a death of a loved one or a horrific, health issue. It's amazing to me how the people who are the most dedicated to Jesus, when they go through these seasons, very often I hear this phrase: I don't know how people do it without Jesus Christ. How do people live without Jesus? And see, I think that highlights to us this paradox of laying down our life for Jesus, because it feels hard. People won't respect us if we give our lives to Jesus, because we look like, those crazy people over there who are following God, who don't understand how important making a lot of money is and looking great is. The paradox is when we struggle, when we suffer, we sense firsthand, we feel it, the love and the compassion and the protection of Jesus Christ. And for all those people who are motivated by pursuing what they find valuable in life, when they suffer, I don't know what they hold on to, frankly. It's a scary thought. But see, that's this, when we struggle, when we suffer, I think we get a glimpse into the reality of what it means to lose your life for Him. We get a glimpse into what it looks like to actually give ourselves away, because we actually benefit from it. And so that's the verse I wanted to highlight today for you, Forest Lake. And I hope you're well. And if you're, well, that's all I got. Have a great day. Bye.